Good evening, guys. So, as I said, I'm going to go through a couple more of these problems, multi-step equations. And in this first example here, we have some fractions. And so, make sure you pause this video, go get your calculator, and have it ready to use because I'm going to walk you through the process of doing this with the calculator. So here we go. First thing we need to do is we need to look inside these parentheses. We cannot combine anything in these parentheses. Why? Because they're not like terms. Meaning this is a 2 with m, this is a 16, negative 16, without an m. So therefore we need to do the distributive property. Why? Because we have a number outside of the parentheses and we can't combine anything in. So we take this number 1/9 and distribute it to the 2m and the negative 16. And again, make Angry Bird effect. You have to hit everything inside of the parentheses. So when you go to your calculator, you will type in, open up a fraction, 1 divided by 9, close the parenthesis, times 2. As you can see, you get a repeating decimal, which we do not like that. So what we are going to do to get it out of a decimal form, we're going to hit math. And then down the bottom right hand corner, enter, enter. And we get 2/9 m. Let's go ahead and draw our line here. So we get 2/9 m. Now we have to do 1/9 times negative 16. So we have, open a parenthesis, 1 divided by 9 times 16. Excuse me, negative 16. So make sure it's in parentheses, negative 16. And we get that. Again, we don't want to work with decimals. We want to work with improper fractions. Hit math, enter, enter. And we get negative 16 over 9. So minus 16 over 9 equals, now we have to do this side. 1/3 times 2m. Well, first, before we do any of that, we need to see if we can combine anything in these parentheses. Obviously, we can't. So we're going to take this fraction right here, 1/3, and distribute it to everything inside the parentheses. Those are horrible arrows. I am so sorry. They're hideous. Yuck. Anyway, point is, we have to multiply this 1/3 times this 2m and this 4. So in your calculator, open a parenthesis right above the 8. 1 divided by 3 times 2. Now you do not have to hit the multiplication button here. You can just simply do another number beside the 1/3 in parentheses. In this case, it's 2. We get this decimal, hit math, bottom right hand corner, enter, enter. And we get 2/3. And remember, this had a variable with it, so we need to write 2/3 m. Now we got to do the same thing with 4. So we are going to do, open up parenthesis, 1 divided by 3, and then open up another parenthesis, times 4. No decimals, math, enter, enter, and we get plus 4/3. Now this is where the fun begins. So now we have done the distributive property, and what we need to do is combine like terms. Well, we can't combine anything on this side of the equal sign because this 2/9 has a variable, and this one does not. This negative 16 over 9. Same thing over here, 2/3 has an m, 4/3 does not. So what we can do is we can start to move some stuff around from this side to this side. What I'm going to do first is subtract 2/3 m. Now I know some of you might look at that and be like, well, this is a fraction, how come we don't divide it? Because we are not solving specifically for the variable right now. We are combining like terms. So therefore, where this is a positive 2/3, and we're moving it from here to the other, this 2/3 m to the 2/9 m, we have to subtract it. Why? Because it's going from one side of the equal sign to the other. And just for space, I'll leave it as is. So this cancels out. Now, to do this in your calculator, what you will do, 2/9, open a parenthesis to complete 2 divided by 9, subtract parenthesis 2 divided by 3, enter. We get this decimal. Math, enter, enter. -4/9 m. So we get -4 divided by 9m minus 16/9 equals 4/3. So now, because we have all of our variables on one side, we need to get all of our numbers on the other side. In this case, we're working with rational numbers because they are fractions, so we need to add 16/9 to both sides, because we're moving this -16/9 to this 4/3 here. We bring down our -4/9 m, and again, in your calculator, here's how you will type this in. So we have, open a parenthesis, 4 divided by 3, close the parenthesis, plus, open a parenthesis, 16 divided by 9. Hit enter. We don't like decimals. Math, enter, enter. And we get 28/9. Okay, guys, I'm going to come up here and continue the problem just so I have more space. So we had -4/9m equals 28/9. Now, because this is a fraction, there's a couple things we can do. But I think the simplest thing to do, guys, especially when you have a Texas Instrument calculator, is to just go ahead and, without inverting and multiplying, just divide by what you see, -4/9. So this will go away. Bring down your m. We're going to divide this by -4/9. Bring down your m. And in your calculator, because you have this calculator, it's the easiest thing to do. You have 28 divided by 9. Make sure you put it in parentheses, 28 divided by 9. Then divided by, open a parenthesis. Now remember, your negative is right here, not the blue minus, but this, the one with the parentheses around it. -4 divided by 9. And you get -7 as your answer. No, that took a little while, but I wanted to show you guys the proper process to type fractions in on your calculator. Now, what I'd like for you all to do, which I know some of you like, but what I'd like for you all to do is to take this and go back and plug it in the original problem to make sure it checks out. Wish you guys the best of luck. Hope that was helpful. Get ready for the second video because we're going to do example 2.